is in the chamber. Now, honorable senators, yesterday we had the case of the county assembly, and today we are going to hear the case of the governor of Meru County. I'm informed that at the adjournment of the House yesterday, that is last night, there are some senators who had expressed their wish to seek clarifications from the counsel of the county assembly. Now, the system is not helping today. I'm unable to look from my dashboard to get to know who intended to seek any further clarification for the council. And therefore, yes, Senator Fernandi, what is your issue?
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hope the PSC Commissioner, Senator Kinyo, is noticing also we need welfare like police. Mr. Speaker, yesterday we wanted to seek further clarification from the counsel of the county assembly. I remember the first witness was being stood down, and some of us wanted to seek further clarification. Would it be in order to proceed?
We will proceed to seek clarification from the council of the county assembly.
Okay, thank you.
For half an hour. So at exactly 11:34, we should embark on the case of the county governor.
Mr. Speaker, through you, yesterday I wanted to know from the pleadings that the county assembly, through their council, read by Mr. Ndegwa, which of course, one of the issues I wanted to know in the pleadings, it was never indicated whether an invitation to the governor of Meru was sent out during the impeachment proceedings at the county assembly of Meru. So I would want to know whether there is a proof to that effect, because I have seen the pleadings and submissions that have been made. If Mr. Ndegwa and the team, the youthful councils, could provide. Mr. Speaker, the second point is whether the councils, in case the governor was invited to appear before the county assembly, whether there were any communication to that effect, where she got the receipt of that appearance, and whether it was confirmed. So, Speaker, finally, to the councils of the county assembly, through you, whether there is any evidence that was tabled before the Meru County Assembly to challenge the motion of impeachment, because that is where the charges are aired, and Senate is either to upheld or not the charges that have been done at the county assembly, whether there is any evidence to challenge, whether there was an evidence to challenge the motion of impeachment against Meru governor at the county assembly. So, Speaker, and finally, there was an argument over the office of the Auditor General report, where the reading of the Constitution and the feeling of some of members, Mr. Speaker, through you, felt that the fact that the OAG has generated a report, the office of the Auditor General, can it be quoted as a legal document, or can it be used persuasive in any of the pleadings or any case that is before the House? So I would want to know the opinion of Mr. Ndegwa and the county assembly and the youthful council, whether that one can be taken into consideration. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
very kindly, Mr. Speaker, sir, the honorable senators. The appearance is as before for the County Assembly. We are greatly humbled for granting us a further opportunity to urge our case as before you. We do not take it for granted that the Senate creates time for that particular engagement. We are greatly humbled. In response to the inquiry by my learned friend, Mr. Chergei, the Senator, I refer you to Volume 4 of the County Assembly documents, where we have the index and description of the document that we have filed. At page 55, if Honorable Senators, you are with me, at page 55 of Volume 4 of the bundles by the County Assembly, you find a notification of the impeachment motion dated 31st July. This notification was issued by Honorable Zipporah Kinya, MCA, and the Deputy Majority Leader. It was addressed to Her Excellency the Governor, Honorable Kawira. It was notifying her of the pending proceedings before the County Assembly. Of course, Honorable Senators, permit me to indicate to you that this was pursuant to Honorable Lady Justice Cherere findings in Meru's High Court in the first impeachment, that the mover ought to notify personally to the intended respondent, who is the governor. Equally well, at page 56 of the same document, Volume 4, Honorable Senator, my learned friend Mr. Chergei, page 4, Volume 4, page 55, which you've just dealt with. We are now turning to page 56, where you find a letter from the County Assembly of Meru, the Office of the Speaker. The letter is dated 31st of July. The same is addressed to Her Excellency the Governor, Honorable Kawira. It's an invitation to respond and appear before the County Assembly for the removal from office of the Governor of Meru County pursuant to the motion. The same was prepared by the county, by Ayub Bundi, who is the Speaker, and it was duly served upon the Governor, where she acknowledged receipt by stamping on the said document on the same date, 31st July, at page 59 of the same bundle. It is deponed by one Benson Kenywa Ngure, who is a duly licensed process server and equally an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. At paragraph 2, 3, 4, and 5, he deposes how he effected service at the office of the Governor. Of most interest is paragraph 2, where he says that on the 31st July, I was instructed to serve Her Excellency the Governor of Meru County, Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, with an invitation to respond and appear before the County Assembly via letter dated 31st July 2024, reference as MCA/GC/1 volume 1/24, together with the hard copies of the late notice of motion by Honorable Zipporah Kinya, seeking the removal from the office of the Governor of Meru County by way of impeachment. That letter, Honorable Senators, referred thereto or therein, is the letter that you find at page 56 of the said document. That is what Mr. Benson is deposing to have served. Equally well, Honorable Senators, at page 64 of the said document, you find another affidavit of service deponed by Joel Maitehia Mturukonga. He deposes at paragraph 2 that on 31st July, I received a copy of the notice of motion for the removal from office of the governor of Meru County by impeachment from Zipporah, Kenya, and the deputy leader of the majority party, County Assembly of Meru, with instructions to effect service upon Her Excellency, the governor of Meru County, Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, and the Speaker of the Speaker of the County Assembly. He says that he proceeded on the same day at around 4:17 p.m. at the office of the governor. I served the aforementioned document to Frida, the secretary to the governor, Meru County, by attending the copy there to her and recording her signature at my principal copy. This is clear evidence that there was effective service. The question is whether there was response and whether there was attendance from the governor. She will be telling us in our cross-examination whether she did attend. And that answers the first and the second issue, whether there was communication, whether there was evidence that there was tabled to challenge the notice. There was no correspondence and all pleadings that was filed before our clients challenging or responding to the invitation and challenging the notice of impeachment. We are not aware of one. The impeachment motion at the County Assembly went uncontroverted and unchallenged. As to the question of the Auditor General's report and whether it can form impeachment, permit me to draw your attention to the legal question. It lays down the national values and the principles of governance, which Article 10 provides that it binds all state organs, state officers, public officers, and all persons when any of them applies or interprets the Constitution. And in this case, we are applying the Constitution and then the written law. One of the principles is the principle of accountability and the principle of transparency, the principle of the rule of law, the principle of good governance. When you go to the article establishing the office of the Auditor General, the Auditor General comes in to scrutinize and to lay effect to the implementation of Article 10. Whether there was accountability, whether there was transparency, whether the rule of law was followed in public expenditure. Again, that must be read together with Article 201 of the Constitution that provides and lays down the principles on how public resources must be expended. One of the overriding principles is that there must be prudent utilization of the resources. And number two, honorable senators, is that when reading the Constitution, we must read it as a whole. Any article breathing life to the subsequent one. That is to mean, honorable senators, that if an office has been established by the Constitution, an office such as that of the Auditor General, it must be seen as a complementing office that is complementing the principles laid down under Article 10, pursuing the doctrine of transparency, the doctrine of accountability, the doctrine of the observation of the rule of law, the doctrine of good governance. That is to mean, honorable senators, when an issue has been raised in the...
Senator Christo, allow the council to conclude. Then you can make your intervention. Yes, what is your issue, Senator Christo?
Thank you very much, Speaker, for allowing me to just make this quick comment. Speaker, You have given direction that we only have 30 minutes for this clarification session, and I believe that we are moving into an area where the counsel is being allowed to re-prosecute his case by giving quite lengthy responses, and the rest of us have other clarifications we'd like to make. If it pleases the House Speaker and yourself, could the counsel be guided to just make his responses brief so that we can get through more clarifications and not to re-prosecute his case? I thank you.
Counsel for the County Assembly.
Yes.
If I was wondering what kind of question you're responding to, because the question by the Senator for Nandi has no relationship with the lengthy statement you're giving. Be precise, just go straight to what you've been asked to clarify. And I'm giving you 2 minutes to conclude that.
I'm well guided, Mr. Speaker, sir. Yes, the answer is yes. The Auditor General reports can form the basis of impeachment because as under the time of the generation of that particular report, Article 229 requires the County Assembly to debate others dust.
Senate
Most
Majority
humbled.
Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Approve. Mr. Speaker, and you know, just as a point, we have to move away from this Stone Age practice. I hope in the next impeachment process, we will go digital. This is unfair to the climate. Look at this. Every senator will. Anyway, just a simple clarification, Mr. Speaker. Part of the documents I've spent a lot of time reading are documents from the public participation, because I wanted to hear what the people of Meru are saying, because this is about the people of Meru, Mr. Speaker. And I'd refer the Council for the Assembly to their document, Volume 5, this very huge, voluminous document before us. Mr. Speaker, the reason I did this is I just wanted to understand, and I'll be satisfied if the Council can even just point me to any of the documents they have presented, because it will help me to form a correct opinion. Because listening to the Council yesterday in his opening remarks, he alluded to, and this has been captured as part of the documents they presented on page 11, 1334, on views of members of the public supporting notice of proposed motion to impeach Governor of the County Government of Meru, the Honorable Kawera Mwangaza. And one of the main issues that keeps coming up, I had the Council speak about it. I had the Honorable Member, I think Zipporah, the one who moved the impeachment motion, refer to it also yesterday, that the Governor is allegedly behind disunity problem, especially amongst the leaders of Meru, and the efforts, especially by Meru professionals during Cheke Council of Elders, and the clergy seem not to bear any fruits. That doesn't concern me much, because, you know, at leaders level, Mr. Speaker, there are many reasons why we disagree. But as an exit to this problem, last time we made our conversation, we had requested, just the last point, Mr.
Majority
Speaker.
Leader, you have not more than 2 minutes to seek the clarification.
The 12th paragraph of that process is that the governor is alleged, paragraph 11, the governor is alleged to frustrate the process of reconciliation between her, the deputy governor, and the MCAs. This featured prominently in their case and submissions. Is there any document that they can point out to us, Mr. Speaker, to confirm that indeed there have been efforts to do this, but the governor specifically frustrated them? I'd be satisfied even if just told, go to this document and see this. Thank you.
County Assembly, 1 minute.
Thank you very kindly, the Majority Leader. The voluminous document that you see contains the report and the analysis that came or accrued from the processes of the public participation. We have voluminous evidence where the members of the County Assembly say that yes, there has not been fruitful results from the process or initiated for reconciliation. Some of them are yet to give us the reports For example, the Nchorincheke that you referred to is yet to give its findings as to the current existing status, whether there has been reconciliation or not. In any case, Mr. Speaker, sir, the public participation is quite different, and the views of the public are quite different from the views of perhaps of those who may be wanting to reconcile. And reconciliation efforts perhaps may also be evidenced by the fact that I've noted in Governor's response that individuals have even moved the President, His Excellency the President, to dissolve the Meru County. That is the indifference. That is a conundrum, whether it should then be dissolved or we should deal with the problem at hand. I'm most obliged.
Senator Olekena.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Briefly, I just need to seek some clarification from the counsel, from the assembly. Yesterday, when you were leading one of your witnesses, you alleged to the fact that the governor had made a statement and said that that witness was given 86 million. Could you clarify the following things? One, whether there was only one pay bill or there were others. And I refer to page 168 of volume 1B. There's an account number 075560442, which is also for the pay bill number 247247, which I believe is an Equity Bank. Whether you have that statement here. And then there was also a statement in the same page 168 that says that those donating from abroad should send to a number 0720103-913 if we have a statement to that effect. And then finally, on this issue of the Auditor General report, do you have, as per the Constitution, Article 229, subsection 8, it says that, it reads as follows: within 3 months after receipt of an audit report, Parliament or the County Assembly shall debate and consider the report and take appropriate action. Do you have any report, maybe I missed it out, where the County Assembly of Meru debated on the Auditor General findings and took appropriate action so that we can be able to look into it? Or did you just take the Auditor General report and submitted it as part of your case? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
County Assembly, 1 minute.
Thank you very kindly, Mr. Speaker, sir. The witness who testified, one Irene, who is the window to the deceased, confirmed before the Assembly that there only existed one account, and as to whether the money that was being sent from abroad was ever uploaded to the same account. In her examination in chief, she led the House to the evidence that 115,000 shillings that had been generated found itself to the pay bill, and that you find it at page 301 of volume 2, where all the money from that particular number, which was registered in the name of Judith, was eventually credited to the said account, and the credit is reflected as that of 115,000. And the number that was responsible for collecting of the 100,000 shillings, 1,015,000 shillings, appears on the governor's bundle of document labeled as Volume 1B, at page 168, I beg your pardon, marked as KM20. The number is registered as that from those in diaspora sent to this number, that is 0720-103-913, registered in the name of Judith. That is the number reflected in our bundle of documents statement at page 301. So all the money had one centralized mechanisms of management, and only one pay bill. We'll be asking her to give evidence as to the whereabouts of the other millions when her time comes. As the question of the Auditor General, whether it has been debated, the same was generated on the 20th of June 2024, and the motion before the Assembly is dated 31st of July. Debate is yet to take effect at the County Assembly. But the question is, was there a transgression that was notified or noticed by a constitutional organ? And if yes, how do we proceed to deal with that legal transgression?
Senator Omtata.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise on the question of public participation. I've gone through the bundle, and I don't see any evidence that feedback was provided to the people who gave their views on either why they were accepted or rejected. And this is a standard that has been set by the courts, that there must be feedback to those who present their views. It's not like a census or something. So can the Land Council point me to any part of the evidence they have where they complied with the standard on feedback, on public participation, so that what they have submitted can be admissible as having met the threshold that has been set by the courts, especially in Civil Appeal number E003 of 2023. That's the National Assembly, and another versus Okio Mtato Koiti and 52 others. Thank you.
Proceed, Counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I must thank the Senator for Busia for the well work done in contributing to the jurisprudence of this country, and especially the question of public participation, which is still a moot area with a lot of jurisprudences emerging, a challenge that also faces perhaps most of the government organizations on how to initiate it and how to get a feedback. I must admit that this is a recent ruling, judgment of the Court of Appeal, which is barely a month old, and therefore, and actually it was delivered on the 31st of July this year, when the motion was already in the County Assembly. So I believe that most of the organizations, including this Senate, is yet to adjust itself to meet the legal threshold as laid out by the Court of Appeal. Previously,
Senator Asige, you've answered the Counsel. Senator Asige.
Thank you so much, Speaker. Yesterday, Speaker, the Counsel, through his witness-in-chief, played some videos. My questions are as follows. There was one video that depicted a scene whereby it looks like it was said to be the home of the witness-in-chief, and somebody was pouring petrol and then torched a fence on that property. My question is, who took that video? Is there any evidence showing the owner of the device that took that video? Because in the evidence, the witness-in-chief, Speaker, said that the first person to have known that there was a fire on the property was the watchman who came running and then told others. So who took that video at that exact moment when the fire was when it was being torched? Second, Speaker, there was also two other videos where one, the witness-in-chief was doing a interview and spoke about grievances from farmers or about dead cows. The second was a news report talking about a lack of service delivery in a hospital where a lady was made to give birth outside of a hospital. Speaker, I wanted to find out if there are any supporting affidavits, if there are any certified reports of the same two scenarios, which would give credence to the allegation of lack of service delivery in our batch of documentation. Lastly, on page 168, there is a number of an account, and I wanted to know whose it belongs to. It 0755. I forget the rest of the numbers. 60442. Can you please clarify whose that belongs to? Thank you.
County Assembly.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The video that was played was captured by the CCTV footage at 3:48 a.m. It's evidence from the video supported by the affidavit of the mover, and the matter is still subject of these proceedings. The video on the evidence on the dead cows and the lack of services at the county government of Meru, the same is supported by the evidence and the affidavit of the mover annexed here too, and evidence has been laid in chief in that respect. And we have a certificate of electronic evidence produced in respect to that particular footage. On the question of the number, that is 0755560442, that is the number of the witness, or witness PW2, who happens to be the window to the deceased, the slain blogger Sniper. Yeah, and that is part and parcel of the number that forms the basis of the account.
Thank you. Honorable Senators, we shall now move to hear the case for the governor. Counsel for the governor, you have the floor. You have 4 hours to present your case. Those 4 hours do not include the time that the honorable senators will take to seek for clarifications.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and thank you, distinguished senators. I stand here to seek your direction, Mr. Speaker, on time management so that we begin on a clear understanding. I make this request, Mr. Speaker, because of what transpired here yesterday. When the Assembly made their case, they spent 3 hours and 10 minutes on the evidence of their first witness, essentially leaving the official time of 4 hours with a balance of only 50 minutes. The net effect, Mr. Speaker, is that the governor's team was completely disadvantaged throughout yesterday, and I'm certain that the senators who were here last night could see how we struggled to wriggle within the limited time. We therefore beseech you that we give directions on time management, and we propose as follows, Mr. Speaker. We ended up using 6 hours yesterday for the witnesses for the Assembly. Out of these 6 hours, 2 were given to the governor's team with no opportunity for extension, and 4 hours and 10 minutes were given to the Assembly team. It therefore follows that the Assembly got 2/3 of the time yesterday, and the governor's team got 1/3 of the time yesterday. We beseech you that in tandem with the principle of equality of arms, the governor's team gets 2/3 of their time today, and the Assembly team gets 1/3 of the time today in advance of commencement of the proceedings, so that every party decides how they want to use or play about with their time, and when they run out of their time, it is their own making and they take the consequences. If that direction finds favor with you, Mr. Speaker, sir, the 4 hours you have given us today translate to 240 minutes, 2/3 of which is 160 minutes. We urge that from the very outset, you direct that the governor's team has their 160 minutes, which they will decide how to use, and the Assembly team has the balance, which translates mathematically to 1/3 of the 4 hours that you have given us today, and they will decide how to use it. So that if any party singularly their own time and not the adverse party's time. I make this plea, Mr. Speaker, precisely to underpin the principle of equality of arms, because the Hansard of this House will bear me out. The Assembly got 2/3 of yesterday's time. The governor's side got 1/3 of the time yesterday. Once you give that direction, Mr. Speaker, I will then give you how we intend to distribute our time and how we are going to go about calling our witnesses. I humbly submit.
Now, counsel for the County Assembly, we need not debate on issues of time. You know exactly what happened yesterday.
Yes.
You were given 4 hours. You took 3 hours and 10 minutes.
I am on a different position that I also wish your guidance so that you can just do it
No,
smoothly.
on time, it's squarely in my hands. So
On time
just
is squarely
sit
on your
as I
hands.
give directions.
That's correct, Lord. Yeah.
Please do. Take your seat.
Mr. Speaker, sir, yesterday proceedings, one Linda, who is a legal advisor, who was a legal advisor, alluded to a fact of forgery of her, a document that is purported to have been issued by her. Mr. Speaker, making an application under Section 65 of the Evidence Act, that for purposes of establishing the truthfulness or lack of it of that claim, which is grievous, that this Senate does order the bearer of this document, that is Governor Kawira, to produce the original copy of the same before the close of look at it.
Happened yesterday. Proceed.
To put on the stand our first
Mr. Speaker, as we wait for the witness to be brought in, for the record, my name is, I intend to take
Where is the witness? Sergeant at Arms, can you?
I, Ibrahim Keremis, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before the Senate in respect of the matters before the Senate shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Mr. Ibrahim. Could you kindly introduce yourself to the House?
My name is Ibrahim Mutweri Keremi, the CC member, Finance, Economic Planning, and ICT, Meru County Government.
Mr. Ibrahim, kindly confirm that you wrote an affidavit that appears in support of the response of the governor, and that is your signature on the affidavit?
Yes, I do confirm that this is my affidavit signed by me in support of the governor of Meru County government.
You wish to rely on this affidavit as your evidence before this House?
Yes, I do.
The affidavit is signed on 16th of August 2024. It appears from page 30 to 35 of volume 1 of the governor's response. Ibrahim, let's just go straight to what has brought you here in light of the time that we have. Have you read the impeachment motion that has been brought against the governor?
Yes, I have.
Specifically, have you read count 3, which largely talks about financial issues, most of which have been the subject of discussion yesterday and today morning?
Yes, I have, and particularly manual payroll and alleged irregular payment of allowances to doctors.
Very well. So let's go to the motion, count 3. I just want you to look at the grounds under that count. The first one, Economic Crimes Act, and others mentioned there. And the second one reads use of manual payroll contrary to section 6.7.6 of the County Financial Accounting Reporting Manual. The wordings of those grounds, do you recall where else they have been picked from?
Yes, I did. I can report that I have interacted with similar wordings that have been, this motion or these wordings have been picked directly from the office, the report of Auditor General for the Meru County Executive for the year 2022, or financial year 2022-2023.
And the same report is also produced in the County Assembly Exhibit of Documents at page 347. So you confirm that you are saying that these very grounds that form part of count 3 have actually been plucked from the audit report in the same manner of wording?
Yes, the Auditor General report for the financial year 2022-2023.
So I want you to demonstrate that this audit report is not unique and doesn't raise unique issues. So people would be wondering, what is so wrong in this audit report? Are there peculiar issues in this report? So I want us to go to that report and particularly read for us the opinion of the Auditor General. This report at page 341 of the Assembly documents, volume 2, page 341. Sorry, it is at page 333. It starts at page 333 of volume 2, exhibits in support of the impeachment motion. So that is one of the major documents that has been motion. But Ibrahim, I want you to go to page 341 and particularly read paragraph 2 that appears at the top of that page.
Yes, I will read. This is an opinion of the Auditor General that, in my opinion, except for the effect of the matters described in the basis for qualified opinion section of my report, the financial statements present fairly, in all material respects, the financial position of Meru County Executive as at 30th June 2023 and of its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with international public sector accounting standards, that is cash basis, and comply with the Public Finance Management Act 2012 and the County Government Act 2012.
Okay, if you remember the wordings of the impeachment motion, you recall that the motion accuses the governor of violating those very laws that the Auditor General confirms that the county executive has complied with. Is that true?
True, that is very true.
Okay, perhaps you could enlighten this House on the nature of opinions that would ordinarily be rendered pursuant to an audit report.
Oh, thank you, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Senators. There are a number of audit opinions that an auditor may give, given the kind of a financial statement he or she has come across. One, there is unqualified report. Unqualified report means that the documents that have been provided and the financial statements do agree. Then the next is qualified report. Qualified report means that the documentation that has been provided and the financial statements do agree. However, there are just some minor items or matters within the report. Then there is adverse report. Adverse report means there are quite a number of issues that do not agree. The financial statements and also the documentation that has been provided.
Okay,
then
very well.
There is a disclaimer of opinion.
Okay, very well. Where does the opinion of the county executive fall?
It falls in the qualifying report, and I will also explain. If you go if you check the Green Book by the Auditor General for the year 2023, you will find by the county executives in Kenya, there are 47. There is no single county executive that has unqualified report. However, 41 county executives have qualified report, and 6 have adverse opinions. In our case, Meru County Executive has qualified audit opinion or audit report.
And you confirm that Meru County is not one of those 6 which have adverse opinions?
It is not among them.
Assembly of Meru for the current year, for the previous years, same opinion? Or
yes,
what is the nature of it?
I have, it is not among them.
And have you had a chance to also review audit reports of the County Assembly of Meru for the current year, for the previous years?
Do the qualified 3 county assemblies that have the Green Book for the county report where the county executive of Meru is within the qualifying reports. In Kenya, there are 3 county assemblies that have unqualified reports.
Okay,
however, County Assembly of Meru is in the qualified report where the county executive of Meru is also in.
So, Ibrahim, what you are telling this House is that there is nothing unique about the report of the county executive of Meru.
There is nothing unique, and indeed, a qualifying report is, as I said, the documentation and the financial statements are agreeing.
Okay, very well. I want you to tell us what would have been the recommendation of the Auditor General if there was something so materially in breach of the law.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and the Honorable Senators. An Auditor General, if there are particular substantive issues within, maybe within financial statements, he or she may, where there is a loss of money, they may recommend for particular, like investigative bodies to take up the matter, or they may also reprimand a certain officer for any matter, any omission or commission within the financial statements.
That satisfies it. So what you are saying is actually contained in the Public Audit Act, and I want you to just confirm that that is what you are saying at Section 53 and Section 54, and Section 37 also talks about forensic audit. So just confirm that what you are explaining is actually what is in the law.
That is very true, Counsel.
I want you to just confirm by looking at the Act, the Public Audit Act. Is that Section 54? What does it say? We can start with Section 53.
53, okay. Thank you, Honorable Speaker and the Honorable Senators. Implementation of reports by an accounting officer, that is 53.1. The relevant accounting officer of a state organ or public entity shall, within 3 months after Parliament, has considered and made recommendations on the audit report, A, take the relevant steps to implement the recommendations of Parliament in the report of the Auditor General, or B, give explanations in writing to the Parliament on why the report has not been acted upon.
Okay, just stop there. Counsel for the Assembly started when he was answering the questions before the senators. I quote him, he said, action must ensue from the audit report. How does action arise from the audit report? Is that what you're reading at Section 53?
Yes, and these actions ensue from an audit report. I want to explain to Honorable Senate that an audit report by itself is not a final report. It must have, that is why a number of, the County Assembly or the Parliament must consider the recommendations or the opinion. In fact, the audit report is an opinion of the Auditor General. Why is it an opinion? It is an opinion because when the auditor was auditing the books, the time was limited. It was, in fact, the audit is just a sampling. It's not a forensic or a complete audit. So there must be an event after the audit report for a complete investigation of matters where a number of them are dropped and other issues or other matters are taken up by other institutions.
So what you're saying is that the submission of the audit report in itself is not the end of the audit process.
Indeed, it is not, and that is what this provisions is putting.
Have you ever been summoned by the County Assembly to shed light on the audit report?
For this particular audit report for the financial year 2022-2023, I have not.
Okay, very well. Let's go to the issues that have been raised in those two counts we have made reference to. There is the issue of the manual payroll. So why was there a manual payroll used for that period? Maybe you could explain very briefly what leads to the use of a manual payroll?
Honorable Speaker and Honorable Senators, a manual payroll means an individual has been paid outside the system. That is the automated system. That is the IPPD.
Okay,
and
so
this happens.
Okay, go on.
It happens when an individual has been recruited before one is formally assigned the IPPD number, which does not end and finish with the county executive. Before he or she get that number, then he or she, for him or her to get that.
Just to cut you short, who gives the IPPD numbers?
It is given by the Directorate of Personnel Management in the Ministry of Public Service in the national government.
And have you produced evidence to show that the county executive actually actually applied for these numbers and how long it takes?
In fact, in the evidence that I have provided.
So, Honorable Senators, it is the evidence is in Volume 1B of the Governor's bundle of documents from page 190, page 183 to 184. From page 183 to 194. The documents contained in those pages, what do they show in summary? Very briefly, what do those documents reveal?
Okay, let me begin with page 183. It's KM28. It shows a request for personal numbers by the Department of Public Service of the County Executive of Meru, which was done on 11th December 2023.
When was the response received?
Council and the honorable members of the Senate, 186, page 186, KM29, it indicates that this response was done or came back on 19th March 2024.
So what does that time, how many months are those? Okay, was it within a very short time?
No, it wasn't Council.
Okay, so you are essentially saying that it takes time.
It takes time, and also to explain a bit further, for these are the newly recruited officers. For the officers that are coming from other state agencies, it may even take a year or even more time, because for them to be cleared, for instance, if that officer under mortgage with the other institution, for them to release that data, it might take even a longer time.
Okay, very well. That supports your evidence on the delay. So tell us, have you addressed this issue elsewhere?
Yes, this matter was also in the audit report for the financial year 2021-2022, where the county executive appeared before the County Public Accounts Committee of the Senate.
And did you write a response to the Senate on that very issue?
Yes, I wrote and even explained myself.
Yes, is it the response that appears on page 180 to 182 of Volume 1B of the Governor's documents? Page 180 to 182 of Volume 1B of Governor's documents. Is that the response you're talking about?
Very, very true. In fact, it begins with the invitation of it indicates.
We can leave the details, but I just wanted you to confirm that you were actually were invited to by the Public Accounts Committee of the Senate.
Absolutely,
now,
so yes.
What is the current status? Is that an issue in Meru County as we speak?
In fact, from the information and evidence, this matter has since been resolved from the 1st of April, 2024.
Okay, so and 1st of April, that means that this issue was resolved even before the impeachment motion before this very House.
Absolutely so.
To the best of your knowledge, was the County Assembly informed of this resolution of the manual payroll issue?
It wasn't, because this matter is appearing in the audit report for the financial. It's also appearing in the audit report for the financial year 2022-2023. If the Public Accounts Committee for the County Assembly, if they had invited the county executive to address these matters in the audit report, they would have certified themselves.
Okay, so you mean to say that this issue was resolved, and it is the very issue that the Assembly wants the governor impeached on?
Very true.
And have you seen the issue elsewhere in the County Assembly?
Yeah, the County Assembly also, not only this matter, to explain, it's not a matter unique to only the County Executive of Meru. It is also a matter that also has appeared in the 2021-2022. If you peruse that audit report, you will find that the County Assembly of Meru and a similar issue.
Okay, so that appears at page 247 to 326 of volume 1B of the governor's documents. Now let us go to the issue of the doctors' pay. The governor has been accused of paying doctors' allowances illegally. And as you said earlier, that issue has been picked from the same audit report. Now, what was the basis of making this payment?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and honorable members of the Senate. This matter arose from a return to work formula it was an issue that arose. This formula, or the return to work formula, is dated 18th April 2017. There are correspondences that are made by the Ministry of Health concerning the matter, what they resolved, and what they agreed. And then the same is copied to the Council of Governors.
Okay, sorry to cut you short, but the correspondence you're talking about, is it the correspondence found in page 327 to 330 of volume 1B of Governor's documents? Is that the correspondence confirming that the County Assembly, the County Executive of Meru was actually within the law in making that payment?
Absolutely so.
So those are the documents that you wish to rely on to confirm that payment?
Very true.
Page 327 to 330 of volume 1B of the governor's documents. Okay, let us then move on to, but before we move on from there, so this issue that you are saying relates to payment of doctors relating to the CBA of 2017. Are you familiar with the recent developments relating to doctors' strikes and the implementation of this CBA?
Okay, let me make some explanation. It's a belief that, or it's a practice that a CBA runs for 4 years. Mm-hmm. However, if there is no other subsequent CBA, that similar CBA runs until another CBA is arrived at. The one that I'm aware of, there is in April, there was an agitation for improved remunerations to the medical field, and there was a return to work formula, and that CBA is the one that I can quote.
You are talking about the strike we saw recently.
Very true.
And the Assembly has also produced a video of doctors striking on basis of that very implementation of the CBA. Are you referring to that strike?
Yeah, the one that was agreed in April this 2024.
So do you find it in good faith that these two issues are being brought before this House to impeach the governor?
In fact, what I know, and it is an HR practice, is that once benefit has been given or confirmed, you can't go back and retract that benefit unless it is done the same way that communication was done, or the SRC, which is a body that is taxed with the remunerations, also issues a notice. So what you would have seen is a similar communication, the way it was done to retract those benefits to the doctors.
Okay, very well. Let's go to the last issue. You have also mentioned in your affidavit that there were frustrations that the executive faced in coming up with the budget for 2024-2025. So very briefly, would you tell us why you wrote to the controller of budget? The letter that you wrote appears at page 344 of volume 1B, page 344, volume 1B of the governor's document. So I want you to very briefly tell us why did you write that letter?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Senators. I wrote this particular letter when in our budgeting process, we made a CFSP as taxed by the PFM to the County Assembly, which then went beyond and it went beyond the timelines that are set by the PFM Act. It went beyond other key considerations that are set by the legal provisions. So at that particular time, that is when I wrote to the control budget seeking an advice on those issues.
Okay, so the documents you've relied upon are from page 336 to page 344. So, has the County Assembly implemented the memorandum that was arrived at between the executive, the Assembly, and the controller of budget?
It is important that I give some information to this Honorable House what happened.
For the sake of time, I just want you to confirm whether, just very briefly, explain what happened after you came up with the memorandum.
Okay. After coming up with a memorandum that was negotiated between the Assembly and the County Executive, we made a budget estimate because that memorandum was supposed to inform that budget estimate. The budget estimate was submitted to the County Assembly, which they approved as per the memorandum. However, after the approval of the budget estimate, then I was supposed to make or draft an appropriation act to appropriate that budget estimate, which I submitted to the County Assembly.
So after you submitted, did the Assembly change that appropriation bill?
In fact, what the County Assembly did went against the memorandum and went against the budget estimate that they had already adopted or approved.
So are the changes they made contained in volume 1B, page 409 to 413 of the governor's response? Volume 1B, page 409 to 413. You confirm those, just briefly mention whether those are the changes that you are talking about.
In fact, these are the changes, and this you will see, it's an under paper, because I also wrote again to the control budget when I realized there's a business appearing in the under paper of the County Assembly proposing to make amendments against the proposed memorandum and against the budget estimate that the County Assembly had already
passed. Okay, very well. So just before we let you off for the examination in chief, there were several comments made yesterday about service delivery of the governor. So can you just tell us briefly how is the governor's performance in terms of financial performance relating to development in the county?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and Honorable members of the Senate. The performance of a governor can only be informed by the budgetary, how the governor has managed the budget through the report that has been produced by the control budget through the absorption rates. Currently, the Meru County government, this financial year, we have achieved 79% of performance in terms of budget absorption. Then, financial management. The only person who can be able to measure the performance or financial performance of a governor is the report of the Auditor General. The Auditor General's report that we have 2022-2023 confirms that the governor has transparently and prudently used utilized the finances or the funds of Meru County. Then number 3, on revenue performance, still it's another indicator of performance. The only report that we can rely on revenue performance is a report from the Commission on Revenue Allocation. We have not seen any adverse report from the CRA. We have not seen any adverse report from the control of budget. We have also not received any adverse report. What we have is a qualifying report from the Auditor General.
Okay, that would be all for this witness. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Is that all for the witness?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
So we are proceeding on to cross-examination.
Yes, Madam Speaker. My name is Boniface Mawira. I'll not take more than 10 minutes with this witness.
You may proceed.
Mr. Ibrahim, I want to take you straight to your affidavit, the one that you have filed. Specifically, at paragraph 26. Are you there?
Yes, Council, I am.
You say it is notable that the County Assembly has also faced a similar problem. This is the issue of manual payroll, correct?
True.
For which year?
Okay.
Which year from the
Which
witness statement?
volume are you relying on?
That is volume 1, Madam Speaker, the governor's response.
1B or 1?
Volume 1, the response.
Volume 1. Okay.
The witness is a witness statement.
Okay, proceed.
At page 33. Which years are referenced in that statement?
2020-21 and 2021-2022.
So was the move of the impeachment motion a member of the County Assembly then?
She wasn't, but the purpose...
She wasn't,
the purpose is to show...
Question. It's a yes-no question.
No.
She was not a member of the County Assembly.
She wasn't.
In fact, was the current Speaker of the County Assembly, was he the Speaker of the County Assembly then?
She wasn't, and the same case, from 2017, we sent our manual
Mr. Witness, just answer my questions.
And the governor was not in office then.
The governor was not in question.
Yes, this is just
but this relates to the County Assembly, correct?
It is.
Counsel,
yes?
allow the witness to answer the questions.
Madam Speaker, I'll seek your guidance because this is cross-examination, and I put a yes-no question to him.
Let him respond.
He will have an opportunity during the examination to clarify anything that might arise out of cross-examination.
Proceed.
Okay. Counsel, what means that this is just a background to show that this matter is not only unique to the county executive.
I appreciate that, Mr. Witness. I appreciate that, but my question is, this is for before the general elections of 2022, correct?
Correct.
And the evidence you've adduced, that is the report. You will turn with me to page 1B. The report therein also relates to the financial year 2021-2022.
For the County Assembly?
Yes.
Yeah, for the 2 years.
For those 2 years?
Yes.
Before the life of the current assembly?
That is correct.
So, Mr. Ibrahim, is it your evidence then that the answer to that allegation by the governor is that one, even the county assembly did it? Because that is what I'm getting. Is that your defense?
My purpose to
There is
produce...
no question. Is that your defense? That even the county assembly did it? Is that your defense?
That is not my defense.
Okay. Let us proceed. I'll take you to the letter at page 344 of the volume 1B, the governor's volume 1B, Madam Speaker. In fact, it is page 391, Madam Speaker. That is KM 49.
What page?
Page 391. Page 391, KM 49. You say there was a budget stalemate, correct?
True.
And you say that the county assembly, because you're writing to the clerk, you say they increased the ward fund from 33 million to 45 million, correct?
Correct.
Is that the position in the appropriations bill?
Okay. This
one, yes, no question.
I need to explain this one.
It is a yes, no question. What is the amount?
The context of
just
this...
wait for my question. Wait for my question.
Yes.
What is the amount in the appropriations bill that was passed by the county?
Currently, it is 36, and the agreed was 33. And then the context of this letter is another paper.
Wait for my
and
question.
It shows what was supposed to be done there.
Sir, can you respond to the figures you're being asked?
Currently, it's 36 million.
36 million?
Yes.
Madam Speaker, there is the appropriations bill is in the County Assembly's documents, volume 6. Just a moment, Madam Speaker. At page 111, and I want you, Mr. Ibrahim, to confirm at page 111, the word-based development projects. What is the total amount for each of them? The last column on the far right. What is the total amount?
33, is it? Okay.
What is the total amount? Is it not 33 million?
Yes.
Okay. Do you still maintain your answer that the correct amount is 36 million? Yes or no?
Okay. That's 3 million.
Okay. You concede that?
Yes.
One of the other contentions is that the County Assembly passed the appropriations bill and ignored the memorandum that was agreed with the Office of the Controller of Budgets, correct?
True.
One of the other issues you raise is that the CFSP was not passed within the necessary timelines.
It's true.
So is it your contention then, and this is a yes-no question, that if a CFSP, if the county fiscal strategy paper is not passed within the 14 days, then the executive can proceed to implement the same without the county assembly approval?
That is not so, and that is why I saw an explanation or an advice from the control budget.
So even if the 14 days had lapsed, the county assembly could proceed to consider and make amendments as allowed under Section 117 of the
I made I sought an advisory and we were guided.
So you agree then that the county assembly could still CFSP and pass it with amendment?
The guidance from the control budget There is a letter there,
It's a yes,
and
no
they
question.
have been told.
It's a yes, no question.
They were
Would the
told.
county executive proceed to implement it without county assembly approval? Yes or no?
What? Come again?
Could the county executive or the treasury that you had, correct? Could it proceed with the CFSP without county assembly approval?
No, it couldn't.
So the county assembly approval was necessary even after the lapse of 14 days. Wait for my question. If the county assembly could make amendments to the CFSP, and indeed they made those amendments, why did the county executive bring those budget estimates without considering the amendments that have been done by the county assembly?
There was a contention one. That is why.
You agree there was a contention from both parties?
Yes, from both parties.
Contention by both parties.
Ours was on the timelines. I need
for my question.
Honorable members, I need to explain because this is an
You'll have an opportunity. You'll have an opportunity, Mr. Witness. A contention by both parties.
By both parties, yes.
So you will agree then that this deadlock was caused by the actions or inactions by both parties?
Majorly by the county assembly.
Granted.
You breached the county assembly breached the timelines.
Just wait for a question.
Among other provisions of the law.
Wait for my question. Do you have evidence that the entire budget for 2024-2025, the 12 billion, was submitted or subjected to public participation? Do you have that evidence in your volume?
Okay, the budget.
Yes or no?
Public participation, that is subjective.
The witness.
Do you have the evidence?
Witness, you are
Okay.
You are required to respond to the question he has asked about public participation. I believe that's one question that can be a yes or no.
Yes, there's an evidence towards that.
Point me to the evidence. Point me to that evidence in your bundle.
I think I need to assist the one.
Your volume 1B, you have your volume 1B there. Point me to the evidence. That you conducted public participation for the entire 12 billion.
The county executive?
Yes.
Counsel, your 10 minutes are over, but you have the discretion to use more minutes from your allocated timeline of 1 hour, 20 minutes.
Very well. I leave it at that for this witness, Madam Speaker. We can take the next witness. Or they can, I will lead the witness for
Do you want
exam.
more minutes?
No, I think it is okay for this witness.
Madam Speaker, I will take 2 minutes just for re-exam. Ibrahim, you have been tasked to explain the deadlock that was there between the county assembly and the county executive. Did you write a letter to the controller of budget complaining of the actions of the county assembly?
Yes, I did.
And have you produced that letter in your bundle of documents?
Yes, in fact, in several letters, not just one.
So the letters that you said fall from page 336 to 344 of volume 1B of the governor's documents?
Yes, Counsel.
So what was the control of budget?
Yes, several. And other key considerations.
Now, have you detailed those complaints in your letter?
Yes, they are detailed.
And you would invite the members of this House to have a look at that letter to appreciate the basis on which you are complaining?
True, Counsel.
And my last question, did you experience demonstration of good faith from the Assembly after the issue was mediated by the controller of budget?
Yes. One is when
Did the county assembly show good faith following the conclusion of the memorandum that you drafted, following the intervention of the controller of budget?
It didn't.
Why are you saying so?
Because up to the budget, we went on very well. Then immediately after the budget, when we went for the appropriation bill, that is where things turn west. Because one, they went against the memorandum, and then number two, they took along almost 2 weeks before considering that appropriation.
So you invite this House to have a look at the documents you have tendered in support of that claim, to
True.
appreciate your evidence. Okay, that would be all, Madam Speaker, for this witness. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Honorable Senators, we have this witness, and I have several requests to seek clarifications. We should use the least time to get clarifications from this witness. Senator Mutinda Tabitha Murray.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I wanted to really clarify, and as I speak, I'm the Vice Chair of Finance Committee. You raised a point and said that CRA did not raise any audit issues or concerns in terms of if the audit was qualified or had any advanced reports. I mean, to your knowledge, does CRA do audit reports? Second question, have you ever been summoned by the PAC committee? And lastly, are you a member of ISPAC by any chance? And in finality, we have the CRF, not the CRF, but the County Revenue Fund, whereby issues have been raised in terms of the composition of the committee. And Clause 6 of your Act of the County Revenue, the fund, indicates that there needs to be a chairperson for that committee to be able to execute its mandate. So how are funds allocated, how are funds approved without the composition correctly of the said committee? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Witness, you will proceed to respond.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members of the Senate. I want to clarify that I didn't say that CRA or Commission on Revenue Allocation ought to have made a report maybe on audit to say whether there was an adverse or not. What I said is Commission on Revenue Allocation makes reports on performance on revenue, whether a county has performed fairly or is the potential is its performance in terms of revenue, but not audit. So what I said is the performance of revenue collection can be well indicated or shown by the report from the Commission on Revenue Allocation. Because once in a while they say that County X did not meet its revenue thresholds or it performed poorly. However, it is not an OAG report. It's a report from the Commission on Revenue Allocation. And it is available on the Commission's website and portal. Then, number two, whether I've ever been invited by the audit committee. The PAC committee, the County Public Accounts Committee of the Senate, yes, invited us in, not very sure, but July, and we appeared. In July, we appeared, and on the audit of 2021-2022, I appeared. Then, yes, I'm a member of ISPAC. I'm a member in good studying. Okay. The transfer to the Meru County Revenue Authority, that transfer, the money that is transferred to that board, it is from the main revenue of the county. After that money has been budgeted, it is also audited by the Auditor General on its prudence and how, how it has been accounted for. So it is transferred from the Meru County revenue to revenue allocation to that to maintain its operations, because to be self-sustaining. However, at the moment it isn't, so we transfer some money to the board. Yes.
Senator Wambua Enokio, what's your intervention?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have two very quick interventions. One, just for clarity. Witness said at some point things turned west. I would want to understand when the things turned west, where are they heading? You know, what you say there is the only thing that we can use to make a decision. So I would want clarification when things turned west. Where are they going? Secondly, Madam Speaker, more substantively, there has been reference to the auditor report of 2022-2023. And the witness did well when he made reference to Article 2298 on the processing of auditor reports. That those reports cannot be used as material evidence in any proceeding until and unless they are considered by the Assembly and Parliament. But then he went ahead and made serious submissions on the basis of the audit report of 2022-2023. So where should we stand? Should we stand on the basis that we cannot make reference to 2022-2023, and in which case then dismiss everything that you have said about your standing? Or should we take what you have said as part of evidence in these proceedings?
Respond, witness.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and honorable members. My reference to things turning west is in relation to the budgeting process, because we had a negotiating team that was that was superintended by the Office of the Control Budget, and one of the recommendations she had made is, after coming up with a memorandum, that memorandum becomes or forms the basis of our budget making. So that is where things, that is in as far as the budget making process is concerned. That is where I've said things stand west. Then I've referred to Auditor General report. To Auditor General's report 2022-2023, I'm not saying that it should not be referred to. What I'm only saying is, for this matter that is before the Senate on impeachment, if it would have been addressed in the committee of the PAC of the County Assembly of Meru, a number of things like Manyopero would not have found itself here. Because in that committee, we would have explained what we've done and the materiality of that matter, because we would have explained that this money that was paid through the manual payroll is money that has been budgeted, money that has been requisited to the control budget, and money that has been paid to individuals. It is not money that has found its way to other people, but you could even find the bank account. So it's not a material thing that should have even brought even an HR person to be reprimanded because of that, because it is a matter that is not so material. However, that is how I have referred to the Auditor General. So report, I have not said it shouldn't be referred, but for an impeachment, impeachment motion, I think if this matter was addressed at the Park Committee, they would even have gotten more information and more materials to support or not to support.
Senator Chararike Samson Kiprotich.
Madam Speaker, and I request the witness to be very brief. Mr. Witness, CPA, what is your ISPAC number? Number one. Number two, when you say CPA is 4 years, what is the legal authority or the policy of labor relations to give weight for you to say it stands 4 years? Number three, you have said that the spending of doctors' payment was within the legal authority and the CPA. My question is, how much was the budget in that financial year? If it was not there as a CPA, you know if there is a allocation as the PMF Act envisages, whether that reallocation was sought. And number three, whether supplementary budget was sought to effect those changes. And finally, in 1B, the memo that you are provided is unsigned. It is signed by only the chair. So how can we trust in this volume 1B, Madam Speaker, that memo that had been signed, the engagement, the part of secretary and chairman is not signed, nor is it stamped? Is it an authentic document that you will want to present to this House for proper consideration, considering that what the House is considering, Madam Speaker, is a very serious issue? Madam Speaker, if you can answer those 4 questions, I'll be grateful.
You may proceed to answer those questions.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and Honorable members of the Senate. My reference to CMBA 4 years, I may not authoritatively quote it, but I know it has been it has been termed from HR quarters. I'm not an HR expert. I want to say that, but it has been always saying that a CPA runs for 4 years. That is what but I'm not an HR expert. Yes. Then legal authority on the legal authority of payment of that allowance or the medical allowances that have been awarded after the CBA. This, Honorable Speaker and the members, this payment has not been done only in 2022, 2023. It began from 2017. So, Honorable members, when that expenditure was introduced to the budget, that is when it accrued on the budget. So even in the forthcoming years, it has been incorporated into the budget. So it didn't require a supplementary budget last financial year because it is a payment that was confirmed from 2017. So it has always been there. It has been provided within the budget. The memo on the 1B, I want to say, authoritatively, I want to own that memo. It is authentic. That memo is authentic.
Senator Danson Mungatana.
So, Mr. Speaker,
to the witness, just hold on, Senator Danson.
Yes.
1 minute. There was a question on your ISPAC registration.
Oh, yeah. My ISPAC registration is 10955.
Senator Danson Mungatana.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I was seeking clarification from the witness. I was listening to you when the question was put to you on the financial performance of Meru County. And I heard you say the Auditor General has given a report saying that it is an unqualified opinion. Therefore, it is good. I want you to clarify to me, is the Auditor General the only way, as a professional, that you would measure the financial performance of Meru County? I wanted to know, isn't budget execution, things like, performance, finishing on the projects and stuff like that, that would amount to good financial performance? And if so, please answer that question, because it will help us to make some decisions. I submit, Madam Chair.
Proceed, witness, to answer that question.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and members. Yes, budget execution. Okay, Auditor General report is not the only way, but it's the surest way. Where this one, it takes away every doubt, and that is why most of issues relating to financial management, there are recommendations. There be a special audit, there be an audit carried out to find out. However, even the budget execution is one way to measure financial performance, and that is why in my response I said that the controller of budget report on a budget in our budget appropriation or on budget execution, it is indicating that we are doing the county government of Meru is performing well in terms of budget execution at 79%. I think that is good. Then another indicator of good financial performance is paying. Like we are talking about payment of allowances to doctors. If a county is performing poorly financially, we would not be able to pay those allowances. But what we would be seeing is a protest on the roads, doctors protesting for a CBA that was agreed in 2017.
Those are all the requests we had on the board, so we can move to. It's not showing. Senator Kisang, you can proceed, but his name is not showing on the board. Clerk, check your system.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I don't know why my name is not showing there and it's on this side. Madam Speaker, I wanted to put to the witness, I don't know whether it's to him or who, because I want to put something on the audited report for 2022-23, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as a member of CIPIC, I also know as Gerald K is a member of CIPAC, normally what happens is when the Auditor General signs the report, the oversight committees of both the county assemblies and Senate and National Assembly, they go through the reports to verify, and if there are any additional issues that are required, then we recommend to ACC or other government bodies to investigate. So I'm wondering, I wanted to find out from the witness, were you called by the CIPAC and CIPIC committees of the County Assembly of Meru before they met this particular audit query and impeachment issue?
Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and Honorable members of the Senate. I want to confirm and say that on the specific of audit 2022-2023, the County Assembly Committee on Public Accounts and Investment has not invited us.
That is all for this witness now. There are no more clarifications from the senators. I hope there is no senator who's been left out. So, County Assembly can call in the next week. Sorry, it's the county executive team that is calling in the next witness.
Madam Speaker and honorable members, our next witness is Dixon Munene Kanata.
Dickson Munene, where are you? County Executive Team, where is your witness?
I, Dixon Monenen Kanata, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this Senate in respect of the matters before the Senate shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Madam Speaker, for the record, my name is Edgar Busiega. I've been variously referred to as Busienga. I wish to correct the record to reflect Busiega. Thank you.
You may proceed, Counsel Buseka.
Kindly introduce yourself.
Madam Speaker, Honorable Senate, my name is Dixon Monenen Kanata. I am the CC in charge of Legal Affairs, Public Service Management and Administration in the County Government of Meru. I am also an advocate by profession.
Thank you, Mr. Munene. I'll refer to you as such. Starting from where you have stopped, indicate to this Honorable House, you've practiced law for how many years?
Madam Speaker, Honorable Senators, this is my 11th year of practice as an advocate. I was admitted in 2014. My personal number is P10507 of 2014.
Thank you.
Senator Chiradike, what is your intervention?
Madam Speaker, perhaps if you could freeze the time during the intervention.
Your time is frozen anytime there is an intervention. Can you give the mic to Senator Chiradike?
Madam Speaker, understanding 104 on the declaration of interest, I don't know how will this one proceed because Counsel Busieka and Counsel Munena and myself were in the same class. So is it in order that the counsel and the witness should have declared the interest before proceeding so that the House is cognizant of the fact?
Senator Chiradike, I believe you must be out of order because many of us were in class with so many other senators and many other people who are appearing. Unless you have special interests like being common shareholders within a company or other interests beyond going to school together, that's the only time you can then, unless you have very serious interests that go into legal, proprietary, or other definable interests in law, that would then bring the team together in such a manner that they've been resolving issues in a way that would influence their judgment in these proceedings. Otherwise, if it's just going to class together, many people have been in school together. So I will overrule that objection. Or do you have any other interest you want to disclose beyond going to school together? I have overruled just attending the same school or the same class as a common interest that would cause influence on the decision that will be made, unless there is another special interest that then would influence the decision of the senator especially. What is your point of information? Senator Methu, is there another point of information which is relevant and will not take away our minutes? We have very short time.
In fact, Madam Speaker, because I know we are very constrained of time, Senator Cherargei was selective, and that's why he never referred and read the Standing Order 104. It is very specific that a senator who wishes to speak on any matter in which a senator has pecuniary or proprietary interest shall first declare the interest. So I don't think going to school together is pecuniary or is proprietary, and I don't even think the witness before us is a senator. The Standing Order 104 is for a senator who wishes to speak on a matter. So the standing order that he quoted is irrelevant. I'm sure he just wanted us to know that he went to school with the brilliant fellas, but that is now water under the bridge.
Thank you. Though presumably it comes late after I had given a direction, but that suffices to close out that issue. Let's proceed on with the witness counsel.
Mr. Munene, you saw an affidavit on 16th of August this year, correct?
That is true.
Would you wish to rely
Madam Speaker, Honorable Senators.
Okay. Now, the first issue is on, as the subject of impeachment, is on what we call illegal revocation of one CPA, Virginia Kawira. Did Virginia have the requisite qualifications at the point of appointment?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On the issue, the governor has been accused of illegally revoking the appointment of CPA Virginia Kawira Biriti as the Secretary/CEO of the County Public Service Board. I'm aware that the governor revoked the appointment of CPA Virginia Kawira by virtue of the fact that she is still a public officer, and this is an issue subsection 3B of the County Government Act. It was an expectation that after the nomination and approval of CPA Virginia Kawira by the County Assembly, before she took appointment, she should have resigned so that she doesn't own two offices, and so that she qualifies by virtue of that section 58(3)(b) of the County Government Act. I'm also aware that this decision of the governor was informed by the legal advice that she received, both from myself, with the background of law, being the CC in charge of legal affairs, and the only CC who is an advocate by profession in that cabinet, and also from her legal advisor.
Based on what you've just informed this House, you are aware that the legal advisor was before this House yesterday?
Yes, Madam Speaker, I am aware that the legal advisor was before this House yesterday. I'm aware that the legal advisor disowned the internal memo that is which is appearing on page 11 and 12 of the volume 1B of the governor's documents. I'm also aware that the legal advisor, that is the former legal advisor, has since been, employment has since been terminated by the governor. And I'm aware of the circumstances under which the termination of her employment was done. I'm aware that there is a pending case between the legal advisor, the former legal advisor, and the governor in the Employment and Labor Relations Court. And I'm aware that the former legal advisor is represented by the firm of Ngwele and Company Advocates, which is the same firm that is representing the county public, the CEO of the County Public Service Board, that is Virginia Kawira. I'm aware they share the same advocate. I'm aware that in the documents filed in court by the former legal advisor, the Saint Virginia Kawira appears as the Linda Kiome's witness. So I would not be surprised that Linda Kiome would disown such an advice that she gave while still in office.
Thank you. Will you confirm unequivocally whether she ever consulted you or shared with you this letter prior to tendering to Her Excellency the Governor?
Yes, I confirm that we discussed the issue. I confirm that she delivered the letter to myself, which I delivered it to the Governor. Yes, and I can confirm that thereafter, when the Governor did a letter of termination, and the response, there was an advisory from the chairperson of the Meru County Public Service Board in reference to that revocation. Linda Kiome was not available to advise the Governor on how to respond to such. I'm aware that we agreed that I look at the documents since we had discussed over this issue, and I advised the Governor on how to respond to the response from Julius Kainga Mitu, the County Public Service Board Chair. I'm aware that the Governor did this letter between pinch 13 to that running 13, 14, and 15.
Honorable Senators, it's now 1 p.m. and I want first of all to notify the Governor's team of their remaining time, which is 1 hour, 55 minutes out of the total time of 2 hours, 40 minutes. This will be reflected in the supplementary order paper that will be printed for the afternoon session. The County Assembly team will have 1 hour, 10 minutes out of their total time of 1 hour, 20 minutes. Honorable Senators, the session in the afternoon will resume at 2 p.m., not 2:30 p.m. So, Honorable Senators, it's now 1 p.m., time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until later today, Tuesday, 20th August 2024, at 2 p.m.
Zizi mtazamaji, moja kwa moja kutoka bunge la Seneti tukisikiza hoja ya kumbanua gavana wa kaunti ya Meru Kawira Mwangaza mtazamaji kwa mara ya tatu. Sasa hivi mtazamaji, ziko zimetimia saa 7 za mchana, wamechukua mapumziko mafupi, lakini watakuwa wakirejea zitimiapo saa 8 za asubuhi. Labda tu kabla hatujachukua mapumziko mafupi mtazamaji, nikupatie mtiririko wa jinsi kikao hiki cha kumbandua gavana wa kaunti ya Meru Kawira Mwangaza kimekuwepo hapo jana mtazamaji. Gavana huyu wa kaunti ya Meru alijitetea mbele ya bunge la Seneti na kusema ya kwamba au kukana madai yote ambayo yaliwasilishwa dhidi yake mtazamaji, yakiwa ni mashtaka matatu mtazamaji. La kwanza ni ukiukaji mkubwa wa katiba ya taifa la Kenya. Aidha mtazamaji, Kawira Mwangaza yuko na shtaka hili la utovu wa nidhamu. Aidha, mtazamaji, pia tuhumiwa makosa ya matumizi mabaya ya ofisi, na chini ya hoja hii mtazamaji ya matumizi mabaya ya ofisi, basi gavana Kawira Mwangaza anatuhumiwa na makosa mengine 7 mtazamaji. Ikumbukwe kwamba bunge la seneti au kikao hiki cha seneti kinasikizwa na maseneta wapatao 67 na ndio ambao watafanya maamuzi ya hatma ya Kawira Mwangaza, iwapo atasaliwa kwenye ofisi au atabanduliwa mtazamaji. Kikumbukwa kuwa hii ni mara yake ya 3 mtazamaji kuwasilishwa mbele ya bunge la seneti ili kubanduliwa. Basi tunachukua tu mapumziko mafupi, nitakuwa nikirejea na taarifa kamili, hususan hoja hii ya kumbandua gavana wa kaunti ya Meru Kawira Mwangaza.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism, how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive.
Assalamu alaikum azizi mtazamaji popote ulipo na ya kusikiza hoja kumbandua gavana wa kaunti ya Meru Kawira Mwangaza, ambapo bunge la seneti kikao kipatao cha maseneta 67 walikuwa wanasikiza hoja hii ya kumbandua kutoka ofisini. Tusikize yaliyokuwa yakijiri hapo awali.
Was the county assembly informed of this resolution of the manual payroll issue?
It wasn't, because this matter is appearing in the audit report for the financial. It's also appearing in the audit report for the financial year 2022-2023. If the Public Accounts Committee for the County Assembly, if they had invited the county executive to address these matters in the audit report, they would have certified themselves.
Okay, so you mean to say that this issue was resolved, and it is the very issue that the Assembly wants the governor impeached on?
Very true.
And have you seen the issue elsewhere in the County Assembly?
Yeah, the County Assembly also, not on this matter, to explain, it's not a matter unique to only the County Executive of Meru. It is also a matter that also has appeared in the 2021-2022. If you peruse that audit report, you will find that the County Assembly of Meru and a similar issue.
Okay, so that appears at page 247 to 326 of volume 1B of the governor's documents. Now let us go to the issue of the doctors' pay. The governor has been accused of paying doctors' allowances illegally. And as you said earlier, that issue has been picked from the same audit report. Now, what was the basis of making this payment?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and honorable members of the Senate. This matter arose from a return to work formula it was an issue that arose. This formula, or the return to work formula, is dated 18th April 2017. There are correspondences that are made by the Ministry of Health concerning the matter, what they resolved, what they agreed, and then the same is copied to the Council of Governors.
Okay, sorry to cut you short, but the correspondence you're talking about, is it the correspondence found in page 327 to 330 of volume 1B of Governor's documents? Is that the correspondence confirming that the County Assembly, the County Executive of Meru was actually within the law in making that payment?
Absolutely so.
So those are the documents that you wish to rely on to confirm that payment?
Very true.
Page 327 to 330 of volume 1B of the governor's documents. Okay, let us then move on to, but before we move on from there, so this issue that you are saying relates to payment of doctors relating to the CBA of 2017. Are you familiar with the recent developments relating to doctors' strikes and the implementation of this CBA?
Oh, okay. Let me make some explanation. It's a belief that, or it's a practice that a CBA runs for 4 years. Mm-hmm. However, if there is no other subsequent CBA, that similar CBA runs until another CBA is arrived at. The one that I'm aware of, there is in April, there was an agitation for for improved remunerations to the medical field, and there was a return to work formula, and that CBA is the one that I can quote.
You are talking about the strike we saw recently.
Very true.
And the Assembly has also produced a video of doctors striking on basis of that very implementation of the CBA. Are you referring to that strike?
Yeah, the one that was agreed in April this 2024.
So do you find it in good faith that these two issues are being brought before this House to impeach the governor?
In fact, what I know, and it is an HR practice, is that once a benefit has been given or confirmed, you can't go back and retract that benefit unless it is done the same way that communication was done, or the SRC, which is a body that is taxed with the remunerations, also issues a notice. So what you would have seen is a similar communication, the way it was done to retract those benefits to the doctors.
Okay, very well. Let's go to the last issue. You have also mentioned in your affidavit that there were frustrations that the executive faced in coming up with the budget for 2024-2025. So very briefly, would you tell us why you wrote to the Controller of Budget? The letter that you wrote appears at page 344 of Volume 1B, page 344, Volume 1B of the Governor's documents. So I want you to very briefly tell us why did you write that letter?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Senators. I wrote this particular letter when
Na mtazamaji, ni mazungumzo ya hapo awali, na kikao hicho kutoka bunge la Seneti kitakuwa kikirejelea mwendo wa saa 8. Tukisonga mbele mtazamaji, mwanamume mmoja amefikishwa katika mahakama ya Webuye kwa madai ya kuuzia mteja wake gari na kisha kuliba baada ya malipo ya gari hilo kukamilika. Kevin Kengara Ogot, ambaye ni wakala wa kuuza magari, anadaiwa kumlaghai David Moyeho, ambaye ni mkazi wa Webuye, na kumuuzia gari lenye usajili KCW 442S, lakini baadaye gari hilo likachukuliwa na madalali, na uchunguzi ulipofanywa ikabainika ya kwamba alikuwa akimlaghai. Aidha mtazamaji, wamewasilisha kesi hii baada ya msako wa kumtafuta muuzaji huo laghai.
The court tunaweza nisikiza. I'm not a friend, risk, I'm a father, I'm a husband, and also I'm a son to a mother with diabetes.
Nikalipa pesa nikamaliza, lakini baada ya muda gari makushonea si walifuata, wakakuja wakaichukua na sikujua sababu. Sasa mshtakiwa huwa anatafutwa tangu huo wakati mpaka saa hii, anaitwa Kevin Kengara Ogot. So huwa anatafutwa na wamempata last Sunday. Sasa wamemleta Webuye court. Nilikuwa nimemaliza kulipa kila kitu, na hata walikuja wakachukua mwaka mmoja mbele baada ya mimi kumaliza kulipa. So na nilikuwa nimelipa 1.2 na ndio pesa yenye tuliagree.
Nao wamiliki wa wachuuzi wa magari ya umma nchini watawasilisha mataka yao leo mbele ya waziri wa usafiri hapa nchini. Haya yanajiri mtazamaji baada yao kulalamikia thulma ya mamlaka kutoka mamlaka ya kitaifa ya usalama barabara NTSA na mamlaka ya kusimamia sekta ya bima nchini IRA. Hivyo wameitaka serikali kutekeleza mataka yao haraka iwezekanavyo kabla ya kuchukua hatua ya mgomo.